Previously, legendary fisherman Jimmy Houston took on the ultimate gardening challenge, planting 8 tomato plants under the blazing Oklahoma sun in punishing 100-degree heat. 4 went into regular soil, while the other 4 were planted in the revolutionary waterless garden. We're now in week 3 of this brutal torture test. The question is, which plants are thriving and which are struggling to survive? Let's dive in and see what's happening so far.
3 weeks ago we planted 4 tomato plants in regular Twin Eagle soil. We planted 4 more tomato plants. None of them were very healthy, to be honest with you. It's hard to buy tomato plants anywhere this time of the year. And when you buy them, they're the leftover, what's left over after everybody else has planted. And so they weren't very good. They weren't very good at all. But we planted 4 others in, and we picked just 4 and 4. We didn't pick the big ones or the little ones. They were all kind of bad. And we didn't pick any special, trying to make sure we had about 4 of the same size in each side. I think each side had a smaller one in them, and each side had a bigger one in them, and that's just the way we planted them. But we put 4 of them then in soil that we had mixed with humusol. We mixed that with humusol, and we mixed them together. And I'm gonna just set this down right here, and we'll just let it watch and see what happens here. But these are the ones that we planted in the regular Twin Eagle soil. Now, after the first week, I came in here, and that dirt was rock hard, just like it is right now. Just like it is right now. Let me turn this around a little bit here, okay? So this is week 3. This is exactly 3 weeks, 21 days since we have planted these, and these were little bitty tomato plants. You can see they're actually doing pretty good, and they're doing good because I watered them. I haven't put any fertilizer of any kind, just simply watered them. I'm gonna have to stake that one there. It's breaking down. I will stake them all. Actually, we'll put some wire in there on them. We got some wire we'll put in there that they can grow on and grow up, and we'll balance them and where they won't lean over and fall over like that. I'm going to put some water on those and see if I can perk those up, because we hadn't had any rain at all this week since that rain last Sunday. So it's been over a week since we've had any rain. And the other over here I want to show you, and I want you to just look underneath that. You can see there's pretty much just ground, not much happening underneath that at all. But then I'm going to just kind of just pan over to the other side, and those are the plants. Those are the plants right there that are in the soil mixed with humus soil. The Sustainable Green Team company who makes humus soil. It's actually a miracle dirt almost. It's just going to probably replace fertilizer, and it's they got a lot of products they're getting ready to put on the market real soon. You'll be some of the first to know about those in the entire country. So that's looking at them without zoom. That's the way I first looked at that. One of these grew up and kind of started leaning over, and I staked it. Not a really pretty stake, but it works. And we'll stake them all, and then we look over there at the others. You can see those and these. The humus soil plants are every bit of twice as big, plus they're beginning to get some buds on them. I see some buds starting there. A couple, 2 or 3 little buds right in here. You see those little yellow buds right in here. A couple, 2 or 3 buds. So we should have tomatoes starting on these things pretty quickly. So we better get them staked out. Now let's look at the soil. This is one of the key things. This is the humus soil. We look down through the humus soil. You can see that it's totally different. As we get down and dig, we find it's moist. It's creating its own water under there. I haven't watered these. I'll just let it do its own thing. Here's the other part about it. I want you to look underneath it. That is clover there, I believe, underneath. And look at that clover growing. That's growing because of what's dripping out of the bottom of that. The water that's being made by the humus soil when it's mixing hydrogen and oxygen together in the ground, creating water. That water's dripping out. It's causing that stuff to grow underneath. Look at that, how it's growing. Just the grass and then a little patch of clover right there. Unbelievable, unbelievable. So that is 21 days. That's 21 days comparison of 4 tomato plants against 4 tomato plants in the most harshest of conditions. We had this past week a day of 112, another day of 111, another 109. Made it exact to 101 today, 101 today. We have had no rain since in 9 days, since last Sunday, when it rained 1.9 inches, and it rained 2/10 on a couple other little rains a day or two before that. So a little over 2 inches of rain. But this last week, 9 days with no rain at all. And I have not watered these plants. I'm going to water the regular soil plants over there, see if we can keep them alive. If they get really too ragged looking, I'm going to put some humus soil on them and see if the humus soil can bring them back to life. But that's our tomato test. Looking pretty good. I'm convinced my garden is going to be Humisoil for the rest of my life. Convinced of that for sure.
Is your garden struggling to stay hydrated? Meet Waterless Garden, the organic solution that saves water and boosts your garden's health. Packed with humus materials and trillions of beneficial microbes, Waterless Garden improves soil structure and increases water retention. Use less water, get better results, and watch your garden thrive. Waterless Garden. Less water, more life.
Over the telephone, I had never met him yet. Chad, it appears to me that we can grow gardens in the desert. You know, there's a Christian song out now like, God makes gardens out of graveyards. Pretty much what we're doing. Pretty much what we're doing. And he said, it's exactly what we're doing right now in deserts around the world. And we're making gardens out of there with plants that are growing, healthy plants that are growing, so the people that eat those vegetables are going to be healthy. And I believe we're doing God's work. I believe we're doing God's work.
And utilizing the technologies that we have too, we're able to take really hard to handle waste streams and create nutrients. It's a real win-win situation. You look in America, we throw away 80 million tons a year of food.
Oh.
And food is a great ingredient to put back in through a system. The way our systems work, we're really conscious on having a zero net carbon process. And so we're creating something that's sustainable, and we're utilizing what we have an abundance of. So everybody has to eat. Everybody has to use the bathroom. We have plenty of fiber. And with our technology all put together, we take all of those incredible ingredients and we make humus. And humus is a big, important part of our livelihood.
As you were explaining to me, the Humisoil that we put on this ranch here, and when you open a bag and you look at that and you feel the moisture, and those have been in those bags for quite a little while, and they've been producing themselves really, is once you put the catalyst and everything in, been producing themselves. And you open that bag and you take that up and your hands are dirty because of the moisture, and it's black. It looks like the richest, greatest soil you could ever imagine in the river valley of the greatest river, beautiful river running through, making that bottom land for great farms. And you look at that and you look at that and you realize that the humus soil that I have here that we've been using and that we will be using here over the next several years was made from trees that got torn down by a hurricane. Trees, and just dead trees, because once they fall down, they die pretty quickly. They're not trees planted in the ground anymore. They get knocked over by a hurricane. You pick all those trees up, you run them through chippers, you apply the substrates that we apply to it, and then 6 months later, we've got this beautiful soil.
And there's so much life.
Regenerate land that you put it on.
That's it.
Or mix it with.
Yep, so you got this dry looking product to start with, and you end up with this black gold. It's rich, it's moist.
Gold, that's a good word.
You know,
in Oklahoma, we think of that as oil.
Well, maybe we're taking,
we'll make a little change in that. The black gold is also Humisoil, yeah.
Yep, from oil to soil.
Yeah, from oil
black
to soil.
gold.
I love it, I love it, love it.
Tune in next week for part 4. We will have more conversations with Jimmy Houston, America's favorite fisherman. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on these social media platforms. America's favorite fisherman, Jimmy Houston, and the Sustainable Green Team are joining forces to tackle environmental issues like carbon loss, dead soils, and the overuse of fertilizers with Waterless Garden. This partnership is revolutionizing the global fertilizer industry, transforming agriculture and enhancing food security for future generations. SGTM and Jimmy Houston, working together for a sustainable future.